Hey everyone, welcome back. From what I've heard, Retromobile is more than just your average car show, right?
You could say that, yeah. I've been to Retromobile
Oh, well.
several times.
Wow,
Yeah, it's a really cool show.
that's awesome. I'm so jealous.
It's great.
Well, from what we've seen, 2024 looked incredible.
Yeah.
And actually, before we go too far, Retromobile 2025.
Yes.
Mark your calendars, everyone. February 5th to the 9th.
You got it.
Back in Paris.
At the Porte de Versailles.
Of course, yeah.
Paris Expo, Porte de Versailles.
So that's coming up.
That'll be here before we know it.
That's right.
And they're doing the Citroën DS as the guest of honor this year for its 70th anniversary,
Oh, wow.
which should be pretty cool.
I bet. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So back to 2024, though.
Right.
It
was a good year.
from what we saw, it looked really impressive.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah. Retromobile's great for that. It's
Yeah.
just, wall-to-wall
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And everybody's just kind of like buzzing around looking at cars and
Yeah.
talking about cars. It's fun.
That's awesome. One of the things that stood out was, this wasn't just an event for like hardcore collectors, like
Yeah.
people who
You don't have to be a millionaire to go to this thing.
right.
Which very approachable, I guess.
Yeah, there's something there for everybody. I mean, if you're into cars at all,
Yeah.
even a little bit,
Yeah.
you're going to have a good time at Retromobile.
I love it.
Yeah. So 2024, where do we even start? Were there any particular cars that stood out? Any showstoppers?
Oh, yeah. There were definitely a few. For one, the 1987 Roof CTR Yellowbird definitely turned some heads.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Tell me more.
Well, imagine a Porsche 911.
I think I can handle that.
But this isn't just any 911. This one was modified. It was the fastest car in the world back in 1987.
Wait, hold on. The fastest car in the world. Now, that's a statement. What made it so special? Was it just a powerful engine?
Well, it was definitely powerful, but it was more than that. Roof, the company behind the Yellowbird, they're officially recognized as an automaker in Germany. They basically rebuild the Porsche 911 chassis from the ground up, adding all sorts of performance upgrades that were practically unheard of in the 80s.
So this wasn't just a tune-up. This was next-level engineering.
Exactly. They equipped it with a 3.4-liter engine.
Okay, so a decent size.
Twin turbocharged. That thing generated an incredible 469 horsepower. But it wasn't just the power. The Yellowbird made history with its performance on the Nürburgring. It was incredible. There's actually a video of it that's become legendary among car enthusiasts.
I can only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
To see that car in person at Retromobile, it must have been like meeting a celebrity. Speaking of legends, our sources also highlighted another beauty, the 1958 Ferrari 250 GT California, LWB.
Oh, the 250 GT California. Now, that is a car that just oozes sophistication.
It really does. But for those of us who aren't car experts, what does LWB stand for?
Ah, good question. It stands for long wheelbase.
Which basically means...
It means that the chassis, the car's frame, is slightly longer than the standard California model. And, it might seem like a small detail, but in the world of classic cars, those nuances can make all the difference.
I can imagine. So it's not just about aesthetics.
Not at all. The longer wheelbase actually provides a smoother, more luxurious ride. It changes the whole driving experience. Plus, it gives the car a more impressive, almost grand presence on the road.
I bet. And did I hear correctly that this particular Ferrari was valued at a staggering amount?
You heard right. We're talking over 10 million euros.
10 million. What justifies that kind of price tag? Is it just because it's rare?
Rarity is definitely a factor. They didn't make many LW California, so they're incredibly sought after by collectors. But it's more than that. This car represents a golden age of automotive design, a time when performance and elegance were seamlessly intertwined.
It's like owning a piece of art that you can actually drive. But speaking of art, our sources mentioned a car from Retromobile that was practically a masterpiece of Art Deco design.
Oh, you must be talking about the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic.
The name alone is impressive.
It was breathtaking. Imagine sleek, flowing lines, a low profile that cuts through the air, and then there's this dorsal seam, this ridge running right down the center of the car.
A ridge? What was that for?
It wasn't just for looks. It was a key design element that actually improved the car's aerodynamics.
So, form and function,
Yeah.
all in one. I love that. But our sources also mentioned a tragic story associated with this car.
Yeah. You see, there were only 3 Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantics ever made, and one of them was involved in a fatal accident in the 1950s.
Oh, that's awful.
It gets even more eerie. Years later, during the restoration of the wrecked Atlantic, something chilling was found.
Chilling. Okay, now I have to know. What do they find?
They found the remains of a passenger hidden inside the car's wreckage.
Oh, wow, that sends chills down my spine.
It really adds another layer to the story, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like this Bugatti carries a piece of the past with it, a reminder that there's always more than meets the eye. But, our sources described Retromobile as this vibrant, bustling event. What's it like being there, walking through those halls?
Imagine this. You walk in, and it's like you've stepped back in time.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
There's gleaming chrome everywhere, polished paint, and you're surrounded by the sounds of hushed voices, collectors, and enthusiasts sharing stories. And then suddenly, the roar of an engine as someone starts up one of these classic beauties.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. The engine roar, smell of gasoline and old leather. It would be sensory overload in the best way possible.
It really is. You might overhear a group debating the finer points of a particular model, or a seasoned collector sharing anecdotes about their latest acquisition.
There's a whole social scene within this world, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Retromobile is like a who's who of the vintage car world. You'll find legendary figures like Joe Macari. And Simon Kidston, he practically breathes automotive history.
Our sources also mentioned Gregor Fiskin, Lucas Hooney, and the folks at Gerardo & Co. It's like a gathering of automotive royalty. What is it about these individuals that makes them stand out in this world?
They're not just dealers, you see. They're curators, historians. They have this innate understanding of what makes a particular car truly special.
So it's not just about the rarity or the value, but about the story behind it, the historical context.
Precisely. They see the art in these machines.
And of course, we can't forget about the auctions at Retromobile. The thrill of the bidding, the possibility of owning a piece of history, it all adds to the excitement.
The auction block at Retromobile is like a stage where history is being written in real time. You can feel the energy in the room as bidders from all over the world compete for the chance to own a piece of automotive legend.
The stakes must be incredibly high.
You have no idea. It's not uncommon to see cars going for millions of euros. But for these collectors, it's not just about the money. It's about the prestige, the history, the emotional connection to these incredible machines.
It's about owning a piece of the past.
Exactly. And speaking of owning a piece of the past, our sources mention a legendary auction that took place at Retromobile back in 2015, the sale of the Balon collection.
I've heard whispers of this, but I don't know the whole story.
Well, picture this. A collection of over 60 rare, classic cars.
Okay, that's a lot of cars.
Hidden away from the world for nearly half a century.
Hidden away? You mean like a treasure trove of automotive history just waiting to be discovered?
That's exactly what it was. And we're not talking about just any cars. This collection had Ferraris, Talbot Lagos, names that any car enthusiast would recognize instantly.
And this incredible collection was just tucked away somewhere. Where on earth were they hiding?
In the most unlikely of places. A dilapidated barn in France. Can you imagine?
The sheer luck. What happened when the news got out?
It spread like wildfire. Collectors from every corner of the globe descended upon Retromobile for a chance to own a piece of this rediscovered history. It was unbelievable.
So what became of all those cars? Are they scattered across private collections now?
They were auctioned off. Bidders were practically falling over themselves to get their hands on these cars.
Imagine the stories those cars could tell. They're like time capsules emerging after all those years. It does make you wonder what other hidden gems are out there just waiting to be found.
That's the beauty of the classic car world, isn't it? There's always a sense of discovery, a hint of mystery, and a whole lot of passion.
Hearing about the Bayon collection, it really makes you think. It's like those cars lived multiple lives tucked away in that barn, just waiting to be rediscovered. They're not just machines, are they?
Not at all.
And Retromobile, it brings all of that together. The cars, the collectors, the stories. It's like a living, breathing museum.
Exactly.
And I suppose it's also a reminder that even in today's world of mass production, there's still something special about a beautifully crafted machine.
And that's what Retromobile celebrates. The artistry, the innovation, and the enduring allure of these incredible vehicles.
Well said. And it sounds like 2025 is going to be pretty spectacular as well.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, February 5th to the 9th, if you can get out to Paris,
check it out.
go to Retromobile.
You won't regret it.
That's right. It's going to be a good one. And if you can't make it in person,
Yeah,
be sure to check out all the coverage online.
absolutely.
We'll be keeping our eyes peeled for it too.